Alright, this is the second half, so this is Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 6. You've just done Scene 5, and it's all part of the same sort of lesson. This one's super short, it's like 3 slides long, 2.5 slides. So, we're at the church. This is the bit where they're getting married. This is the proper wedding. So the friar says, "So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not." So I hope the heavens are happy with this marriage. Again, develops the theme of fate, a bit of foreshadowing. And then Romeo says, "Amen, amen, but come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight." So bring on the sadness, because it's got nothing compared to the joy that 1 minute with Juliet makes. I feel with 1 minute with Juliet. "Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death do what he dare." Oh, he's a brave fella, isn't he? Especially given the theme of the story and the prologue and what we know is going to happen. He says, "Close our hands in marriage, join us together by holy wed, by marrying us, and then love devouring death." So death personified. "Do what he dare." So bring it on, death. Do your worst once we're married. Well, that's not a good idea, because we know what happens to you, Romeo. "It is enough. I may but call her mine." So it's enough that I just get the opportunity to call her my wife. And then we have Friar say, "These violent delights have violent ends." Now, if any of you watch Westworld on HBO, and if you don't, you should. But if any of you watch Westworld, this line is throughout. I love this line, and it is a line from Romeo and Juliet. So these violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder. So sudden happiness has sudden endings, and they die away like gunpowder and fire. Which as they kiss consume. So in that small moment they kiss, they explode. "The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness." So honey's so sweet, and if you eat too much of a sweet thing, it's very sickly and it's not nice anymore. "And in thy taste confounds thy appetite." So yeah, eating too much of a sweet thing makes you bleh. "Therefore love moderately. Long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy as too slow." So love in moderation, right? Make it last. Love in moderation, because really quick love is just as bad as love that is really slow. Then we see Juliet. Juliet enters. "Here comes thy lady, oh so light of foot. Will never wear out the everlasting flint." So again, a little bit of foreshadowing there. He's saying, sorry, excuse me. He is saying, here comes the lady, oh so light the foot, will never wear out the everlasting flint. She'll never survive the difficult road of life. Wow, okay. "A lover may bestride the gossamers that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall so lightly in vanity." So the love, those who are really in love are able to walk on floating spider webs in the summer air. Got this word wanton again, unwanted summer, the uncontrollable summer air. And then Juliet says, "Good evening to my ghostly confessor." So basically, "Good evening, Holy Father. Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both." And Romeo kisses her, and she says, "As much to him, else in his thanks too much." So I'm just as happy and I'm just as grateful. So he doesn't need to thank too much, because I'm just as equal in this. And then Romeo says, "Ah, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten it with thy breath, this neighbour air, and let it rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter." So what he's saying here is, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, so if your joy is just as much as mine, it's better, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbour's air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the the imagined happiness that both. So what he's saying here is, if you can do a better job, if your skill describing the love is better than mine, if you have more skill in describing the love than me, and you're able to sweeten the air with it, and like it's going to be music to my ears, then unfold what the happiness that we're going to have together, the happiness that you can imagine. And she says, could sight more rich in matter than in words. So, where are we? Could sight more rich in matter than in words. My imagination is better than my words. Brags of his substance, not of ornaments. They are but beggars that count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess. So, here again, like my description is not as good as what I actually feel. My description, my words are just beggars that count their worth. They're like meaningless. They don't have anything compared to the actual love that I feel. I cannot sum up some. I cannot sum up some of half my wealth. So I can't even tell you half of what I actually feel. And then the friar says, "Come, come with me, and we will make short work. For by your leaves you shall not stay alone till Holy Church incorporate two in one." So come on, I won't leave you two alone until you're married. The Holy Church is going to bring you two together. And that's the scene. Really, really short. We're moving on to Act 3 soon. So again, the works, just take a couple of devices and analyse them.